Hi and welcome. Before we begin, I want to share a quick note with you. This video uses concepts from the human design system to explain timing, pressure, and energy. But you don't need to know anything about human design to be able to follow along. You can just think of it as one of the many frameworks, and this one is grounded in solar cycles and observation. And it helps to explain why January so often feels just off rather than motivating, especially when it comes to setting intentions for the new year and following through. But first, who am I? Hi, for all of you that don't know me, I'm Naraya. I'm a human design projector energy type, 1-3 profile, quad left, triple split definition with solar plexus authority. I was born with my personality sun in gate 24 on the right angle cross of the 4 ways. I'm a holistic mentor, certified human design analyst and living your design guide by the International Human Design School, as well as the BG5 consultant and profit potential coach. I'm also a host at Jovian Archives Raw TV platform and a community facilitator there. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Every year, the same pattern repeats. The champagne cork pops on December 31st. People write lists of ambitious resolutions, and the world collectively agrees that day one has arrived. And yet, almost inevitably, many of those resolutions fall apart within weeks. There's many different reasons that this could happen. You might feel low energy, resistance, like you hit a wall and you just can't push through it, or a vague anxiety that you actually aren't ready to begin. And maybe if you just took a little break and picked it back up in a week or so, you'd be able to start again. Now, according to human design, there's actually a mechanical reason for this. You're not lazy. It's not that you don't have willpower. You aren't failing to start the year off right. And you are absolutely not less than, because this might be happening to you. Maybe it happens every year. You're just trying to begin a race before the signal has gone off to start. Now, while the calendar tells us that the year begins on January 1st, our bodies and the mechanics of the solar system, they tell a very, very different story. We live in this solar condition field. As biological beings, we're deeply, deeply influenced by the movement of the sun and the neutrinos that come from that. And the solar cycle does not actually reset on January 1st. Now, this is information that comes to us from Human Design System. The Gregorian New Year was established in 1582 by Pope Gregory XIII, and it was part of his calendar reform meant to correct timing errors and better align civil timekeeping with the solar year as well as the church calendar. So this helped standardize January as the first official start of the year across much of Europe, but the idea was already in use like a long time before that. In ancient Rome, the year originally began in March, aligned with agriculture and the return of life after winter. It wasn't until reforms under Julius Caesar that January became the civil new year, and this was chosen primarily for administrative order rather than keeping with the seasonal rhythms. So, while the modern New Year date is close, it's still a few weeks early compared to the natural solar cycle and what we know in human design as the true energetic reset. Trying to force a new beginning in the dead of winter is often an act of the not-self. So in human design terms, this means a conditioned pressure to move before the body is actually ready to move. But much of the world accepts that the new year, or that the old year, is ending because of tradition, marketing, collective expectations, and those calendars that everybody has, but mechanically, we're still in the process of completion. This also helps to explain why New Year's Eve often feels tense instead of relieving. That pressure isn't imaginary. And at the end of December, the sun moves into gate 38, known as the gate of opposition, while the earth is still in gate 39, the gate of obstruction. Together, they form what we call the cross of tension. Tension and obstruction. Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's great energy to start something. It's really not the energy of a fresh start. It's the energy of struggle, provocation, and the pressure to find purpose. When you try to build your future on a foundation of tension and obstruction, it's not really a big surprise that resolutions struggle to hold, that you struggle to follow through with it. The true energetic new year, often called the rave new year in human design, doesn't begin until the sun enters gate 41. This year, that happens on January 21st. Gate 41 is unique in the human design mandala, and it's known as the initiating codon. That means that it marks the true beginning of a new experiential cycle. Now, one way to understand this is through language. If life were written like a sentence, gate 41 would be the capital letter at the start. You wouldn't begin in the middle of a sentence. You'd start at the beginning. But before that new sentence, there's a bit of a pause, like a breath, a winding down. Nature doesn't just leap from fall into spring. First, it cuts back, whittles things down in preparation for the fresh start in spring. Trees drop what they no longer need. Things go dormant. And this period before gate 41 is kind of the same thing. The sun moving from gate 38 to gate 41 is a similar energetic pruning, a letting go of what's no longer viable, thoughts, patterns, ambitions that didn't bear fruit in the previous year. That's why starting something big too early, it can feel off, and it just can be it can be something that just does not feel the momentum can keep going, because there hasn't been enough cut back to be able to have room for that growth. There hasn't been a full closure. Now, what is this time for? Nature works the same way. Until the sun reaches gate 41, we're not meant to really be pushing forward. We're meant to be finishing up, closing out the past year with awareness. The sun's natural movement actually supports this process if we let it. So, if now isn't the correct time to start something new, if there's not that energetic support behind it, what do we do during this time? It's not about fixing yourself. That's not what this time period's for. It's about allowing the process to complete. The days between the end of December and January 21st are designed for closure. And during this time, the sun moves through 4 distinct gates that help us process the year that we just lived. Gate 38, it asks us to look at what we've struggled for and why. Gate 54 brings up ambition and questions around who or what we're aligned with, what we want to take with us, those allies that we want to take with us into the next year, and which ones we just don't feel would be beneficial. Now, gate 61, this is the gate of inner truth, the gate of mystery. This turns us inward with truth and honest assessment. And then gate 60, limitation, the gate of acceptance. This brings us face to face with limitation, acceptance, and The act of letting go of what no longer serves us. Those things that we've been holding on to that we really just don't need anymore. Only after this sequence completes are we energetically clear to begin again. Over the next coming weeks, I'll walk you through each gate on the path to the Rave New Year. Gates 38, 54, 61, and 60, one at a time. Not to rush you forward, but to help you arrive at the real beginning with clarity and awareness. So relax, put down that resolution list. You're not late, you're not behind. You're standing at the starting line, waiting for the signal to get going. The new year hasn't started yet. So this is my invitation to you to pause, reflect, reset with the rhythm of the sun. Now, if you subscribe, you can stay in sync with the full series as each stage unfolds. The new year's coming, and for you, this time, it's going to start with awareness. See you next time.